Hi guys, today I'm going to be filming this autumn inspired look using some new makeup, which includes the Urban Decay All Nighter Liquid Foundation as well as the Fall Collection eyeshadows by Makeup Geek. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, then just keep on watching. I'm skipping primer today and moving straight onto the base, and this Urban Decay All Nighter Liquid Foundation claims to be a full coverage, long wear, matte finish, waterproof and oil-free formulation. I'm using the shade 4.0 and I'm applying it to the right side of my face using a beauty blender. Initially this does look a little bit light for me, but it does oxidize and the end result is a pretty good match. I'm applying it using a damp beauty blender to the right side of my face, and as you can see the coverage is quite full, definitely a lot more fuller than I'm used to, and I only used a small pump of product. It seemed to kind of blend in quite easily, although it set pretty quickly, and the finish is quite matte but still very skin-like. On the left side of my face I used a buffing brush to blend out the foundation, and I found that it retained a lot more coverage using a brush compared to a beauty blender, and I also felt that the brush helped to blend the foundation in a little bit more easier than the beauty blender. Moving on to my brows, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade medium brown to shape and fill in my sparse brows. It is my go-to brow product and I always find myself going back to it. Then to set them in place, I'm using the Loreal Brow Artist Plumper. It is tinted, so I find that it does give a little bit of texture back to the brows. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start with priming them with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. For my transition shade, I'm going to go in with Bakesale, which is described as a nougat brown, and I'm working it predominantly into the crease with a big fluffy brush, and any residual product left on it, I just kind of sweep it all over. This eyeshadow is just as good as the existing Makeup Geek MAC eyeshadows. They are just really smooth and easy to blend and incredibly easy to work with. And the next shadow I'm using is called Sidekick, and it's described as a cinnamon brown, and I'm focusing it mainly on the outer crease area and only taking the residual product along the crease towards the inner corner. And taking a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend it in with Bakesale so it gives a bit more of a seamless effect. Then I'm going to go in with Pocket Change, which is described as a soft bronze, and this is going to be my all over lid shade. I'm applying it just to the mobile part of the lid and staying under the crease area. I do apply it to the inner corners, but I'm going to go over it later with a much brighter, lighter colour. Alright, to deepen things up, I'm going in with the shade Cabin Fever, which is described as a chestnut brown, and I'm applying that to the outer V and taking any residual product through that crease area to kind of really define it, and then taking the same brush that I used to apply Sidekick, I'm going to start blending that in with the rest of the shadows already on the lid. And then of course taking a big fluffy blending brush, I'm just going to take that right over the crease colours to make sure that there are no harsh edges. Then to add a bit more warmth to the look without adding more red, I've gone with Early Bird, which is described as a pumpkin orange. I've just taken the tiniest amount and kind of blended it over the transition area. Then I give my lashes a quick curl before going in with eyeliner, and I'm using Colourpop's gel eyeliner in Swerve, which is a matte black. I'm using that to line my top lash line and also my waterline. I'm not going to create a wing today, which I normally create a wing, so I just thought I'd do something a bit different, and I've gone wingless today. However, I didn't want the line to be too defined, so I've gone in with a flat brush and I've just kind of smudged out that liner to give more of a smoky, hazy effect. Then I'm going in with my current favourite mascara, which is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof Mascara. And then I'm going to apply my favourite false lashes, which just happen to be a random pair that I picked up from eBay, quite similar to the velour style ones. Now time to target those under eye bags, and for that I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. And to brighten up the face, I'm going in with MAC's Prep and Prime Highlighter in the shade Light Boost, and I'm running that in that V shape under the eye area, but I'm also going to take that down the center of the face, so kind of between the brows and the forehead, down the center of the nose and also the chin area. This is going to help to highlight and brighten, but also to add back dimension to the face. And of course I'm using my damp beauty blender to blend all of that concealer and highlighter work out. And I could still see some redness coming through around my nose area, so I've just gone in with a little bit more of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer just to kind of cover up the stubborn redness and blemishes. And to set that all in place, I'm going in with the Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I've just forgotten how much I actually love this powder. Going back to the eyes, I'm going in with Makeup Geek Sidekick and running that along my bottom lash line from outer corner to inner corner. Then to define that lash line, I'm using Colourpop's gel eyeliner in Swerve and running that along the outside half of the bottom lash line. Then taking Cabin Fever on a pencil brush, I'm going to start to blend that in whilst at the same time smudging out that eyeliner so that it's kind of less defined and more smoky. Then going in with Makeup Geek's Mirage, I'm going to use that as a subtle brow bone highlight. And because I think I've taken those transition colours a bit too high, I'm also going to use it as a bit of an eraser just to kind of tone it down a little. Then for my bottom lashes, I'm going in with MAC's Extended Play Gigablack Lash Mascara, which is my trusty waterproof mascara for bottom lashes because it's got such a small practical wand. And for contouring, I'm using the Smashbox Step by Step contouring kit and using the contour shade to chisel out those cheekbones. As always, I like to apply that product right into the hollows of my cheeks, but then run any residual product up the kind of hairline where the temple is, but also along my jawline. And again, this is another step that will help to add dimension back to the face. I also like to use any leftover products to kind of slightly shade my nose to make it look slightly slimmer. Then I'm going to go in with the bronzing powder in the same palette and start to warm up my complexion. And I'm just taking that right over the cheeks, but also around the perimeter of my face as well. And I always like to take a bit of the product down my neck as well, just so the face and body look as one, and so you avoid that floating head syndrome. For blush, I'm going in with Rose Spritz from the Champagne Collection Face Palette, the collaboration between Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics. And you only need a small amount of this blush on the brush because it's so pigmented. I've gone in with the tiniest amount and it's still given me a decent amount of colour payoff. For highlight, I'm going to be mixing together Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop from the same Champagne Collection face palette. I'm just going to hit that onto the tops of my cheekbones to give it some serious glow factor, but also kind of extend it to above the arch of my brow as well. I'm going to mix the two highlighters and apply it to the inner corners of my eyes as well. I did apply some of that pocket change eyeshadow in the inner corners, but I felt it was a little too dark, so adding these two highlighters will definitely brighten up the eye area. Then for my lips, I'm going to go in with one of Colourpop's new Ultra Satin Lips in the shade Barracuda, which is described as a deepened rose. And this is a really, really beautiful autumnal shade. The formula of the Ultra Satin Lips are one of my favourites. They're really pigmented, really comfortable to wear and super long lasting. And to finish off, I'm going to set my makeup with the Models Prefer Finale Setting Mist. And this is my completed fall inspired makeup tutorial. In terms of the foundation's performance, it provided full coverage that was matte but still looked like my skin. It did, however, cling to dry patches around my nose, which is partly why I went in with a setting spray to add some moisture back where needed. I have worn this foundation since and I've found that with well moisturized skin and a primer, it does help to alleviate the problem where the foundation clings to dry patches. However, I do think that if you have dry skin in general, you probably won't like this foundation. It's definitely more for those with normal to oily skin. On me, the foundation lasted all day with minimal minimal oil seeping through, mainly just around my nose area, around about after 4 or 5 hours of wear, which is pretty decent. This foundation definitely gets a thumbs up from me. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!